Okay, here we go for the absolute first time that we're recording. This is definitely not, I definitely didn't forget to actually hit the record button. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the world's first round 999 has been achieved by the one, the only Insomnia Virus. But we're going one step farther and we actually have him on a call today to talk about his absolutely legendary run, the world's first in Black Ops 6. Insomnia Virus, welcome. And I just have one question for you. How many hours have you slept in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, so I actually booked off 2 weeks off work to grind Halo 6 launch, and then at first the round count was only 256, and then they raised it to 999 about a week after, and then by that time I only had 6 days left off work, so I was like, crap, I really gotta grind and start this grind then. So I started off the grind, and throughout that 6 days I was streaming for about average 15 to 17 hours daily and sleeping only about 4 to 5 hours, and then. And on the very last 6th day, I stream about probably I think like 12 hours because I had to go back to work the day after. And then throughout those days, I was only maybe eating one meal a day, but I was mainly just eating fruits in between and then just trying to stay hydrated. That's kind of the main thing because when I usually grind, I don't really have that well of an appetite.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. You said you had to go back to work, so you were like working on this game, or you were going to work and then coming back and working on this round 999 all in the same day?
After the 6th day, yeah, I went back to work.
So like you literally only got like 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep a night, and we're just surviving off of fruits basically for this entire run to happen.
Yeah, during the days I was off work, yeah, like I was maybe eating like one meal a day. It was like it was when I wake up, I might be eating like a one egg and with like a cup of milk, and then I would start grinding for 15, 17 hours. And then during
Oh my
the stream, I only be eating fruits because I don't have time to eat and all that.
Literally,
Yeah.
so I have a question here. Did you ever utilize, because obviously one of the biggest things that I only went to round 300, which if I understand correctly, people were saying that round 700 is only technically the halfway point of this game finishing, right?
Yeah, correct.
Like in terms of kills, that is absolutely crazy because my round 300 game took like 20 plus hours, but your game here was 170 plus hours, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
170 plus hours of gameplay in order to complete this and get it all done. My follow-up question to this, now that you've done literally 170 hours and you've gotten to round 999, what are your thoughts on high rounding in this game? Obviously, you're literally the only person who has done this at this point of recording the video. What is something that you would like to see changed now that you've beaten it? Maybe like you think it should be easier in certain ways, harder in certain ways. What are your thoughts on high rounding in this game?
First of all, I do think that this game is quite enjoyable for going for high rounds, and I think a couple of the stuff that maybe they could change in the future. One mainly is if they could reduce the length of the bonus rounds, because when I was at round 900ish, the vermin rounds were taking almost 50 minutes.
50? Wait,
And
what? 50 minutes?
yes, like when I was hitting, and I also got a vermin on the last round, 999, which was very lucky, because I wasn't sure myself what would happen if you beat the round cap round
Right.
on a bonus round. I wasn't too sure what would happen, so that was very, very lucky that I got that. But yeah, the last round
This is
took me
insane.
almost, yeah, it was almost 50 minutes, and then I was still doing it in the faster way because I was using my Mustang Sally.
Uh-huh.
Because if you're doing the jet gun way, it'll be a lot slower. But with the new season 1 update that came out, you can't really do the jet gun that well anymore because you might get kicked out for inactivity, which happened to somebody around 800.
Wait, so the strategy was to just kind of like sit in the corner with the jet gun where you can like cover all the spawns, suck up the bugs, but with the new update, people are actually getting kicked for inactivity for doing that?
Yeah, yeah. And then a lot of people were kicked out. A lot of people that were watching me, they were getting kicked out in round 300 and 400, all of them on Berman round, because everybody was doing the same way, just sitting up by the trash bin with the jet gun,
Right.
and then just like kind of tapping it. But apparently, it's like with the new season 1, they made it where you actually have to move around and not make movements like a macro.
Yeah. Like it registers if you're doing movements that aren't like repeated the same, like up, down,
Correct.
left, right type stuff.
Yeah, so I didn't want to risk it, so I switched over to using Mustang Sally, which was actually a faster method.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
So you like actually played it, because when I did my round 300, I would save quit the bug rounds. Were you not save quitting the bug rounds?
So when I play my game, I play from round 1 to 350 without a single skip, and the reason was because, at the time I wanted to play my game as legit as possible. I didn't want to
Right.
try to skip a single bug round and then I have people saying that, hey, you skipped a round or you converted a round. That is not legit. So
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. So I just played it out as legit as possible. And then at about round like 300ish, I started speaking to other high round contents, high rounders, just asking them their opinion on what they think about the Burman rounds and whether it should be allowed or not. And then almost every single one of them I've spoken to, they basically said, yes, I'm gonna be skipping it. So it kind of became a gentleman's agreement. And then I started doing it. And when I did it, it also influenced other high rounders to do it as well. And then it all just kind of became that everybody was doing it. So
Right.
from round 350 onward, I decided to actually do it. And then 350 all the way to round 977. I've save and quit, converted every single bug round. I stopped doing it from round 977 because I didn't want to take a risk. So in this game, the save and quit feature is also something that I wish the game can maybe make it a little bit better, which is where every time you load back into your game, whatever that round is, if you DC'd or crash, your game is going to be over.
Right.
You would have to progress through one round for it to auto save. So then after that, if it does crash or DC, it creates a temporary save.
Yeah, because
So
you can
that's
only
why
have
I wanted-
one save per round, right?
Correct. It's just like when you load back into the game, it deletes your save file, but you would have to
Right.
progress around to create another auto save. So from round 977, I didn't want to risk it anymore to save and quit because I'd rather just play it out safe for the last 20 rounds. It might be slower because I got to do like an extra 3 Berman rounds, but
Yeah.
hey, if it crashes or DC, at least I get a second chance.
Yeah.
And I had a couple crashes in my game throughout, and first one was at 161 was my first crash ever. And I do play on console, and I do think PlayStation in general, or PS5 is actually the most stable platform
Right.
for high
Right.
rounding. And I crashed on 161 was my first crash, and I got a blue screen, but luckily it created it. Or sorry, what was 167? Sorry, 167 I crashed, and then it created a temporary save, so that was luckily. And then 831, I somehow when I was streaming, I lost connection. Like my game crashed, DC'd, my stream crashed.
Oh no, your
I
internet
had
just
no-
went out.
Yeah, my internet just blew out for like 15 seconds. And then luckily, it wasn't on a round that I loaded back in. I think it was like 1 or 2 round after. So my
Right.
game created a temporary save. So
Yeah.
I was very lucky. And then lastly, it was like round 997. My game
Oh my
froze
God.
for like, yeah, it was like 2 rounds away.
Literally right at the end, dude. What?
My game froze for like 2 seconds at the crafting table, and I thought my game just crashed. And then for some reason it resumed and it reset the round. So 997, for some reason it just refreshed on my screen and then it said game loaded. So at the time people thought like, oh, is the round cap actually 997?
Yeah, yeah.
We weren't too sure, and then I wasn't sure myself, and I was nervous. I thought maybe the round just reset by accident, but it turned out it was fine. But it kind of just froze for 2 seconds.
I think what you're talking about, I've actually had happen to me on PC multiple times before. I think it's whenever I pull up my map, the game just thinks I need to like reload my save, and it just like it puts whatever round you're on in the middle of the screen. It says game loaded and everything, but nothing really changes. It's like almost a UI or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have to ask as well. I know I kind of asked you this when I was in your stream watching, but did you have any deaths, downs, close calls, dying wish uses, anything like that in this entire game?
So at the time when I started the game, they haven't actually patched the QR bug, which is whenever you save and quit, it will reset either 3 dying wish or 3 equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
So when I first played, I actually used 3 dying wishes. I don't remember exactly what round, and then one of the dying wishes was on a Berman round because at the time it's just like everybody was just saving quitting. It didn't really matter if you ended up using a dying wish, right? Because people were just saving. It doesn't really matter. So I didn't really care at the Berman round, so I ended up using one as well on that round.
Yeah.
So I've used 3, and then afterwards, I think I was at around like 400ish. The new patch came out, which fixed the QR, and that was basically you can only use 3 QR, 3 equivalent exchange, and you can also change it, and then also 3 dying wishes, giving you a total of 6 QRs in total for your entire game. So at that time, I wanted to make sure my game was as legit as possible, or like make it post patch. So I decided that I was asking my chat, and then we agreed that I'm gonna change my dying wish. I'm not gonna use it anymore. I still have
Keep it
3 more.
legit, yeah.
I still have 3 more because with the patch, it resets, but like I still have 3 more, even though I've used 3.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure I still have 3 more. So I swapped it to equivalent exchange, and I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna play out my rest of my 600 rounds, and we're just not gonna use the dying wishes anymore.
Which
Even though,
respect for that, because you literally
yeah,
had them ready to go in game, but
yeah,
because you had been playing before on the patch, if you had started the game post patch, you wouldn't have had any. So you preemptively switched over to the other one, just so like no one could say, oh, you just did this pre patch where you had multiple dying wishes, and then you just ended up not taking any downs the rest of the. So basically, this was a flawless game then.
yeah. So like around round 400-ish, I swapped it out,
Yeah.
and from 400 all the way to round 999, I did not take any down. And if I did take it down, it would have used my equivalent exchange,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that would have counted as down, in my opinion, definitely.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going for flawless. I didn't think I was even gonna hit it because like honestly, me switching out and not using the remaining 3 bonus dying wishes was already giving myself a disadvantage,
Yeah.
to be honest, because I'm sure other high rounders would have used it because it's not their fault that the QR got patched.
Right.
A lot of the other
Right.
players, they definitely used way more than 3,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to be as fair and legit as possible, so I swapped it. And then when I hit around 700 flawless at the time, I was like, damn, okay, like we're only halfway. So like I still didn't think it was gonna be possible to really hit round 999. And
Right.
yeah, I had to be really, really careful. And I managed to hit it, which was crazy. And I definitely had a couple close calls. Somewhere in the 400, I don't remember what round. It was like I got kind of like cornered, kind of near like the bowling room,
Uh-huh.
without no kill streak, no field upgrade, no decoy grenade,
Oh no.
and it was just ridiculous. It was all super sprinted, but I managed to get out. I don't remember what round though, but yeah, that and then like a couple other close calls, definitely I've had throughout my game. And then another very common bug, I don't know what actually causes it,
Mhm.
and is like I think it's like when you use up your jet gun, like fully ammo or something or close to it, if for some reason you switch a gun sometimes, it doesn't let you pop your mutant injection for some reason.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It will give you an error saying that like mutant injection like you cannot use. I don't know
Right.
what causes it, and the only way to fix that is you have to swap weapon, but sometimes it doesn't work. So I've gotten a couple close calls from that issue, but when that happens, I usually just pop an ether if I have one. So
Yeah, yeah. Until you can figure out like what combination of switching your weapons can get it to like
yeah,
fix
but
itself.
yeah, but around like I think when I started getting that problem more, I realized that don't swap weapon too much. If you're gonna pop a mutant injection, don't try to swap your gun from jet gun to Mustang and then pop mutant or vice versa. Like don't swap from pistol to jet gun and then activate. If I'm gonna activate mutant, I'm not gonna swap weapon and then activate. That's what I
Right.
realized was one of the reasons that might have been causing that issue.
And I just on the topic of mutant injectors, I wanted to make a note here that your entire game was played post the salvage and mutant injector nerf, where if you get a kill in your mutant injector, it wouldn't drop more mutant injectors, therefore being a nerf to salvage, meaning that you have to craft more. So this entire game was done post nerf. I think a lot of people were really, really freaking out. I wanted to get your opinion. Do you think that nerf was like incredibly game changing and like really, really difficult and like a very, very bad thing for high rounds? Or do you think that it was totally fine post nerf, like, and you didn't see any problems in your game?
I definitely think it was a pretty big update, and which is another reason why ZWR wiped the entire leaderboard.
Right.
Because of this major update, and it changed basically the meta strat. Everybody thought that bowling alley strat, which was the current pre-patch meta, wasn't going to be working anymore, or they nerfed it or patched it, right? So I started my game after they nerfed it, so it was like post-patch game. And then when I went into my game, I had no idea what to do. Because like that's not a proper strat. So I kind of just did like the basic rooftop strat, but I had my vertical zip line open,
Uh-huh.
and I did that just for up to around I think it was like 140 or like 160 around there. And then I was like, you know what, this strat is just way too slow,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just not working out great. And I was like, let me just try to go back and try to do the bowling alley strat again. And then just like I've just like multiple just trials and errors and just testing and stuff like that. And then I managed to figure out the ether blade refill jet gun ammo.
Yeah.
That
You,
was when I discovered the strat on
yeah.
my own. Yeah,
You
and
you
then
literally founded the strat, which is, if people don't know, like you put on certain augments that reload your gun with knife kills in your ether shroud,
yeah,
which is another augment which literally refills your jet gun ammo without having to wait for the cooldown or anything, so that you can do more of the round with jet guns before you have to mutant inject in like bad situations.
And then at the time, that was like one of the best strat when
Yeah.
I figured that out. Literally everybody was kind of just doing it, and then yeah, that kind of worked out, and I was able to sustain doing that strat. And then all the way up to, I think they also did another nerf sometime in between where they like nerfed ether down by 2 seconds, but that didn't really affect the overall strat or gameplay.
Right.
And then one last kind of a decent update was season one that came out like a couple days ago, and I was only at about around 800 ish. And then when that update came out, I had to try to adjust it as well because it actually made it harder too. And the reason is because, first of all, like getting back your field upgrade was almost twice as long as it took. Like,
Whoa, is that? I knew that they nerfed it. I didn't realize that it was that significant of a nerf to get your field upgrade like charged up
I'm not sure
more.
about the other field upgrade, but Ether Stroud took twice as long to get back one. Like usually I could get two back from the before the season one, I can get two back from one jet gun, like
Yeah.
pretty easily. Now it's like I actually have to make sure I'm tapping my jet gun pretty well and not just holding it down because you're not gonna get back two.
Yeah.
And there's also a bug right now on this Ether where the second Ether Stroud does not show unless if you get full power. Like you cannot get two charges unless if you get full power.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only way you can get your second one is if you pop your first one and then it'll get back your second one. But yeah, that was definitely something I had to try to get used to, especially like loading back in. You're already around 800 plus, and then trying to adapt to this is
Yeah.
not as easy as it looks. And then also movement speed nerf, right?
Yes.
You can't reload and sprint. Jet gun felt slower. Jet gun shooting felt slower. And then also crafting table, they added a new kill streak, which also changed like the order. So when I started it, I kept buying the chopper gunner by accident. I had to get
Oh
used to it.
yeah, because they added in the, even though it's not like actually craftable yet, they added in like the Desert Eagle, so it changed the spot that you have been used to for like 800 plus rounds.
Exactly. So that was definitely kind of annoying. And then yeah, it took me like obviously it took me like quite a little while. Like I had people telling me that, hey, your strat's not gonna work anymore. It's patched again or it's nerfed again. But I was still able to do the same strat again, even from 800-ish all the way around 999, and with that new season one update, and I was still able to make salvage.
That is crazy. It is crazy that you are in a game for so long. You quite literally go from like the launch version of the game into the first season with like 3 to 4 significant updates and nerfs, and some of them Treyarch don't even mean to do. Like the movement speed update was like a bug. They didn't even mean to do that, but you in your game, even though you're playing like 14, 15 hours a day, are not able to get through in a game without the game significantly changing multiple times just by Treyarch releasing content or doing anything. Did any of the updates that Treyarch put out actually help your game? And then I kind of a follow-up question of like, since you were in this game so long, what are your thoughts on using high rounds to gain XP or like get prestiges and stuff like that? Because from what I understand and from my own experience, high rounds is not the best for XP gain in this.
Yeah, so in my game, I didn't prestige. So I was not getting any XPs. Like all the XP I earned in this game basically just went to charity. And a lot of people asking me like, why aren't you prestiging and all that? But part of the reason is just because I play zombies for high round only. I'm not a camel grinder. I'm not a calling card grinder or a prestige grinder.
Respect.
For me, I just I unlock the stuff I need to get to high round, and then I just play that out. XPs just normally don't mean anything to me. I would usually play offline games if it wasn't for this forced online game.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't even get any XP on my previous games as well.
That's crazy.
But, yeah. I think the more ideal way to get like level ups and XP would be like maybe just doing like daily challenges, camel grinding, and then going for like lower rounds, like round 30 or maybe at most like 50 in the exfil, and not because like the higher round you go, you're getting way less XP. I think in my game, when I started off my game, I still had about 40 more augments that I haven't unlocked. And around 400, I maxed out all my augments. Around 400, it took me 400 rounds to get like my remaining. Yeah. So yeah, like I played so much. Like I had to. At first, I had to grind, to unlock the augments, and then unlocking augment in this game is extremely slow.
Yeah.
And then it's annoying the fact that you can only choose one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And you can't just do multiple ones. So that was definitely more on the annoying side.
Well, I have to ask, like, now that you are finished with this, you obviously like have a lot of history. It'd be awesome to know where would you rank this in all of the challenges that you've done, going to crazy high rounds, hitting round caps and stuff like that? where does this one rank between all of them, and maybe just like what are some of your other achievements in high rounds? Because obviously this kind of game does not come from just like someone who picks up high rounds for the first time. You literally created the strat that people used in this. There's so much thought that went into your game, and this is not the kind of thing that happens overnight. So where does this rank with all of your other high round stuff, and what are some of the other achievements you've done in zombies?
So I think this game overall, like in terms of difficulty wise, I would rank it about more on the a little bit above the medium. This game is definitely more difficult than Cold War. And I do think this game is a lot more enjoyable, but I don't think this game is as hard as like the very OG, like from World of War to BO3 in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, and but this game is definitely more on the more on the average, above average difficulty wise. One of my most impressive achievement, I think, in my opinion, over like the last course of 4 years, which is when I first started streaming, was my Outbreak game on Cold War, and then I was the first to actually hit round 1,000 on that. So I think that would have been my most impressive, because that was when I was still a very, 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 very small streamer. And then that was when I achieved it. It was kind of where I got the more noticed, and that just stuff like these are just very memorable for me. And
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
started, and after that, I've grinded other records on Forsaken, which was the last map as well on Cold War. And then I moved over to try Black Ops 3 because I never played Black Ops 3 during the peak time. So I gave Black Ops 3 a try, and then I was able to get quite a couple records on that game as well. And then I also got a couple on Vanguard, but Vanguard's not really a great game, so it didn't really matter what record I had. And then
no one cared about that one.
yeah, and then yeah, and then we moved on. I played Modern Warfare 3 Zombies as well, but it was hard to do records because it was not round based.
You just have 1 hour to do whatever you want to do. Like it's more like challenge based rather than like high rounds.
I actually did a pretty crazy challenge in my opinion on Modern Warfare Zombie, but I guess it wasn't really recognized at the time.
What did you do?
So when Red Worm came out, I believe I knew you were the first one to beat it solo. Like I was aware of that. The Red Worm, like you were the first solo that beat it. And I think I beat it after you as well. And then I decided to do it again with no perks.
That's insane.
Because at the time it was really hard because you don't have OP schematic like schematics of holding. Stuff like that. It was like when the boss first came out. So I was pretty sure I was the first to beat it with no perks. And that was really, 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 really hard for a solo game. And then I also did a 0 to hero. I wasn't able to beat a solo for that, but I was able to beat a 0 to hero 2P. So it was me and somebody else. 0 to hero with no weapons, nothing, like knife only spawn in. And then just, which is really hard because a lot of the 0 hero people that were doing was they were still bringing in a weapon or bringing stuff in, and they're just not getting stuff, right? But I was doing an actual hardcore 0 to hero, nothing. Like I don't think we brought in a grenade either.
That's
like,
crazy. Just so everyone knows what this is a challenge that I actually did, and I attempted multiple times, and I think we managed to beat it like once, and even then I brought in a weapon. It's basically you spawn into Modern Warfare 3 Zombies with not a single thing in your inventory, no perks, nothing, and you try to beat the Red Worm solo, or in this case 2 players. It is, I think, one of the hardest challenges, not only because it requires a lot of luck and a really, really good run and getting the right contracts and people not taking your contracts, but it is very, very difficult to get set up enough in time to actually beat this. So it is a crazy challenge. Hello? Testing?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. I thought I cut you off there. Okay. So my next question is, what are your future plans? Do you have like any other things you want to go for? Are you looking at Terminus next? Are you like, do your hands need a break? How are you feeling right now?
So definitely need a break. It was just mainly because like it's like so much grinding, and it basically like I gotta spend some time with my family as well.
Yeah.
And it's just been like a couple of weeks already, and I do want to grind Terminus, but I know the fact that if I do it, I'm not gonna have enough time to finish it before the new map comes out. And
right.
I'd rather just wait it off and just wait for the new map to come out, and then I'll be doing another 999 grind. But most likely I will not be first on that map just because I'll still be working.
Right.
But to me, getting like first or second isn't that important for me anymore, because if I really wanted to get first, I would have just like taken or like not go to work and just grinded like another week during the 999 race because I technically wasn't supposed to be first to get this first 999 legit on Liberty Falls because I had other people in front of me, but stuff happened, crashes, such as Mystics game. So I do shout out to him as well. I feel really bad. Like, he should have been. I was cheering for him as well. Like, I was basically, I slowed down as well during my work, and I was like, Mystic is going to get it. And then that happened, and it was just very upsetting because it also gave me pressure as well because I don't mind, like, if you're not first, it doesn't matter if you're second or third anymore at the time. So the fact that his game was over, and it basically, he was cheering for me. He was like, Insomnia, you've got to get it.
Yeah.
At this point.
All eyes were then on you to be the first to get the round 999.
I've had other people behind me chasing, like catching up to me as well, and that really gave me pressure. And I had to call in sick from work on the Friday, on the last day, like a couple of days ago, I got called in sick to be able to grind my butt off to get this first 999. And the scary part was on the last Saturday, which was yesterday morning, when I woke up with a migraine.
Oh no!
It was bad because I get migraines once in a while, and if I do get it, I'd be done for like the entire day. I'd be like knocked off, and then I did a 30-minute stream, and then I had to shut it off. I puked after.
Oh no!
I shut off the stream. I was like, guys, I gotta go like sleep immediately. I took a pill, and then so happy that 2 hours later, I actually felt so much better. I fell asleep and I felt so much better, and then I was able to just knock off another 15-hour stream. And then we were able to hit 999.
Well, there it is, man. Dude, literally, congrats. This is the craziest, like, one of the craziest achievements in Zombies ever because it was just, like, so quick after the game came out. They increased the round cap. There was so much that went into this. I guess last thing, this camera. What do you got going on? Where can people find you? Where do you stream? Everything like that. Shout yourself out right now.
So I'm just mainly a YouTube streamer. I don't really stream on Twitch as YouTube is kind of just my home. I've been given advices about multi-streaming to TikTok or Twitch at the same time, but like for me, it's like it's not all about getting extra growth like that. I rather just stream on a platform that's a home to me, and I have a very good memory, and I know a lot about every single one of my viewers. I remember each one of them when we met. Like I have a very good memory, and I could definitely ask my viewers to, what's that word? Like kind of just like I don't know how to say it, but basically like the people who watch me, they know I have a good memory. And if I'm streaming off like Twitch or TikTok and then other people come in, I'm not gonna know who they are. Like everyone just feels like strangers to me. But YouTube is like I know everyone so well, and especially like all of my moderators and members, I know them so well. And
that's awesome. Yeah, we'll have your channel linked down below in the description. So if you guys want to go over and say hi to Insomnia, his channel will be down below. Once again, huge congrats on the round 999. Absolutely insane, man. And literally just cannot wait to see what you do in the future.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Well, that is the end of the video. Again, make sure you go down, check out Insomnia. We will see you guys in the next one. Much love. Peace out.